Okay, we're looking at two beautiful EDC knives. Chris Reeve Ti-Lock in the foreground here with the stone washed finish, and with the bead blast finish, which some of the Ti-Locks by Chris Reeves came in this finish originally, by the way. But in this finish we have a Chinese made copy. And I'm not going to get into the politics of Chinese copies and so forth. Evidently their copyright laws and so forth are different there than they are here. If you change a few things on the knife, like call it a different name and so on, then it's good to go. You can copy a design. So I'm not going to get into that. You all can debate it in the comments if you'd like, that's fine. But what I'm going to do is just do a heads-up comparison, one-on-one, just comparing the two knives. And right off the bat, I'll tell you, this is about $150, $145 to $150 in that price range delivered from China. This is about $475 most places. Most places have free shipping at that price point. So that's the price comparison we're dealing with here right off the top. Both knives are extreme quality in my opinion. There are a couple of things I noticed on the Chinese copy that are not up to Chris Reeves standards. So for now, let's just pull the Chris Reeves knives out of the picture and let's just talk about the copy. The one thing that I noticed fairly quickly is, for me, the copy is a little bit harder to flick open than the Chris Reeves, and you do it, and reaching around this, it's kind of tricky, but what you do is you put your thumb on this brass piece here, and you kind of flick it. Of course I miss it on the first try, but like that. And not reaching around the camera, you can pretty much do it every time with some wrist action and a little flick. You can get it to open, but this one is a little bit more difficult to flick open than the original Chris Reeves. And I'll tell you one reason why I think that might be the case, and it might be just this copy. But again, that goes to the quality control, which Chris Reeves is legendary for every knife that he sends out being absolutely perfect. But this knife, if I go to close it, you pull this up and you can close it. And right in here, it's a little bit looser than here. It's a little tight, and here it's a little bit tighter. Right in the middle it's looser. And if I move this little barbell back and forth, there's a little bit of play in it. Okay, on the Chris Reeves, that is not the case. There's no play there at all, and it's extremely smooth all the way through this whole range of travel. It's exactly precise. So that's a difference I noted. Now, this one has some writing on the blade. You can see there it says S35 VN, and it says Triumph Precision, and then K John, and then a number which might be a serial number. The actual Chris Reeves has nothing written on the blade, but the blades seem to be identical in every other way, and they both come razor sharp. I don't have any problem with the quality of this blade. The handle is the same titanium material on both. Again, this one is a different finish, but the actual Chris Reeves are available in both the stone washed and the bead blasted. They're available in both of these finishes. So that's not, you know, to me, either one is fine. This gives you a little more traction when you're holding it. The other one I think is a little bit more beautiful. This is really like a piece of jewelry more than a knife. The only other thing I noticed in the quality area is this clip. You can actually take this piece and pull it. It won't come all the way out, but it'll slide like that, okay? And it still is very secure in the pocket, and as far as function, it functions perfectly. It holds it in the pocket, and you push it here to release it. That works perfectly well. But on the Chris Reeves one, this piece does not move. You can see the slight different design there, how they're slightly different. And this is like it's, you know, welded here or connected or whatever. This will not pull in and out, and it functions perfectly. So that's a difference. This one came with a lanyard on it. Of course, you could attach the lanyard the same place on this one. Let me close this knife so we're comparing them identically. You could, of course, attach a lanyard to the Chinese copy. As far as any other quality control issues, I see none. They're pretty much identical. The fit and finish, the centering of the blade, which Chris Reeves is legendary for, this one seems to be, if not perfectly centered, if it's off by, you know, just such a minute amount that it's almost not perceivable. You know, very tight in that, the fit in that handle is, you know, you can't get your fingernail in there. And it's the same thing on the Chris Reeves. Again, if that blade isn't centered, then it's off by such a small amount that you could never tell it one way or the other. So both of them, as far as that sort of thing, seem very precise. And now the titanium bar, this lock bar, seems the finish, the color of it seems to be a little bit different. This one's a little bit brighter color than this one. You can see there another comparison. It's possible that it's just the coloring, but this one looks like it might be just a hair thicker, the whole blade through here, and this piece might be just a hair beefier. But again, if it is, it's just by the slightest of margins. They're very, very similar knives. Now, it's debatable whether or not you should spend this kind of money for any knife. Of course, that's something that a lot of people would debate. And the question is then, if you're going to spend this much money, are you going to spend $150 for one that is a copy that's almost as good in every respect? Or are you going to go ahead and spend $475 and get the real thing? That's quite a question. So I'd like to hear what you have to think in the comments. Let me know what you think about this whole situation. Let me know what you think about the knife in general. I did another separate review just on the Ti-Lock. So take a look at that and take a look at some other reviews out there. And if you own one, let me know what you think about it. And let me know what you think about this copy. And whether or not you would buy one of these instead or in addition to, maybe to use as a beater knife, maybe to take out when you don't want to take your real one out and you don't want to risk losing it or whatever. Let me know your thoughts on that. And thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.